Greetings from my apartment in Yerushalayim. I'm preparing for my last Shabbat of this trip. I'll be driving up north to visit old friends who live in Mitzvah Tufa. Miss you all and look forward to being with you next Shabbat. In Parashat Balak, we have a series of attempted curses that Bilam tries to recite against the Jewish people. They all come out as blessings, and among them is a phrase that has been repeated a lot through history and a lot as well in recent months. Han'am levado yishkon. They are a people that dwells apart. So the context again is that Bilam is trying to curse, and yet he recites a blessing. And so a people that dwells apart in the context of Parashat Balak is meant to be a blessing. And yet we know from elsewhere in Scripture that being alone is not a blessing at all. We see that perhaps most starkly at the very beginning of Eicha, of Lamentations. We say, Echa yishva bedad, hayir abati am. Alas, the city that was once great with people now sits alone. And think also of the Mitzvah in Sefer Vayikra, who has to dwell apart. His dwelling apart is part of it because he's tamei, and he has to get over his tuma in order to return to the community. But it doesn't seem like there's a blessing in this individual being alone. So how can being alone be a blessing? The Netziv, in a dark theory of anti-Semitism, says that if we dwell apart and separate, we're able to preserve our identity and avoid assimilating into the other peoples. Like unlike every other nation, every other ethnic group that assimilates into, once it goes into exile, we are capable of maintaining our distinctiveness. So that is that's the blessing, levadad, right? We sort of say it by ourselves, and yishkon, al levadad yishkon, we actually can, in a kavod, in real tranquility and in a position of honor, we can maintain our own identity. But then he adds a little bit of menace and says, however, if we do try to assimilate, lo yitchashev, right, it's not going to work, and they won't even consider us as people anymore. Like that will arouse anti-Semitism. This is the Netziv's theory of anti-Semitism, that its Jewish attempts at assimilation evoke Gentile hostility. Historically, I'm not sure that's true, but that is his religious theory of anti-Semitism, and one source of that is this verse, that Am levado yishkon, we can be in tranquility if we maintain our identity. If we try to assimilate, we can. It won't work, and we will not even be considered, lo yitkashev, we won't even be considered to be people by them. And he's writing this in the late 19th century in the Russian Empire. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs points us in a different direction for understanding the blessing of being apart, and he suggests that this is one Jewish contribution to humanity, is that we demonstrate the dignity of difference. We demonstrate that they're actually, homogeneity is not the way for people to live in peace, but actually we can respect one another's differences, and in respecting one another's differences, we can live together. And that is, he thinks, and he's not the only one who thinks this, Maharal suggests this too, and Rav Shagai writes about this, that our refusal to blend in, our insistence on maintaining a distinct identity is actually a universal gift of the Jews to the world, because we are demonstrating for all humanity that we don't have to join together with all humanity and have a common identity, and that everyone is better off when groups are able to invest in their own distinct identities. I think sometimes we find ourselves as Jews feeling alone. Sometimes we find ourselves without as many friends as we wish, or without as many friends as we thought we had. And I think that tension between feeling like we want more friends and we that our aloneness or isolation is not a blessing at all, but at the same time being really proud of having and cultivating a unique identity and not wanting to give that up. I think that tension plays out from the time of Sefer Midbar up until our own day, and I think our task is to, again, obviously seek friends, obviously try to have a positive impact on all those with whom we interact, but also to understand that the point of being Jewish is actually to represent something different in the world, different ideas, different ways of living, but that is itself a service to humanity. because they could, in some ways, maybe learn to admire the things that we do, and even when they don't, just our maintenance of a distinct identity is actually a gift to all humanity, who should also, every human group should invest in their own identity and their own distinctiveness and things that make them special. I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. Again, I'll, please God, flying back to DC on Thursday of this coming week. So looking forward to being with you all very soon. Take care.